All right, you grasshoppers, we are going live. Yeah, that's right. Grasshoppers. Glenn has not heard this yet. All right, so we told everybody we were at the River Market Bar and Kitchen. I've been going around calling it the River Market Grill. Either way, it's a fantastic restaurant here in Terrytown, and you can see the Tappan Zee Bridge. I'm still going to call it the Tappan Zee Bridge. It's Mario Cuomo Bridge. But that's where they're going to light it up purple tonight in honor of Alzheimer's, and they're having a watch party over at Hernan Landing, I think it is, here in Sleepy Hollow, right on the water. And again, this is Glenn Vogt, who put together this fantastic restaurant. If you get over here, you're going to love it. Great food, a few cocktails.
Yeah.
Big, huge bar and everything. So how you doing, Mike? Good to see you again.
It's great to see you too, Tom, and thank you so much for allowing me to be with you today, and a special day with celebration and recognition for Alzheimer's.
Yeah, definitely. So you're, not only is this a fantastic restaurant, but your life story is really something too. You've been in the restaurant business all your life. You actually worked as general manager of Window on the Worlds up till 9/11, and we were fortunate that we didn't lose you there as well. But so were you there that day?
You know, it's having the 20th anniversary of 9/11 a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people want to talk about it, and I do have a pretty amazing story, sad and tragic, but amazing. And I have a cousin, Tim Alberta, who writes for the Atlantic Monthly, the Atlantic magazine, and he wrote the most beautiful article. I mean, beyond words, literally, and it's online. It's the Atlantic, and I guess you can Google like 9/11 or something like that, and it'll pop up. And it's hard to believe that it was 20 years ago. It feels like, for me, and I know a lot of New Yorkers, especially if you're close to it, it feels like yesterday.
So I know it's obviously a touchy thing to talk about, but you had people, workers, friends that were in the building at the time?
You know, I was, my personal story is I was driving down the West Side Highway. It was a beautiful day, not dissimilar to today, and just blue sky and crispy air. And I heard on the radio that a plane had hit the Trade Center. And of course, my cell phone, which I don't know if you remember, but back then cell phones were like about this big. And it just started ringing off the hook. My wife called immediately to tell me she was watching it on TV, and then my managers were calling, and so I wasn't really sure what the scope of the problem was. I don't think anybody was at that point, but a lot of fire trucks were sort of going past us, and they had stopped traffic and were turning everybody around and back out of the city. And when I got up to the police, I showed them my business card, and I had a pass to the building that allowed me access under emergency conditions. And so they saw that, and they said, "Go ahead," and they let me drive down. Oddly, down the. By the way, that's the Terrytown train station. It's literally steps away from our patio, River Market. Yes. And by the way, Tom, you can call River Market anything you want. River Market Bar.
I know. I've been calling it Grill.
River Market Cafe. Just
River Market.
It's like it doesn't matter what they say about you as long as they say something about
you. Show up and buy something. That's right. Definitely. Yeah.
So again, I was driving down, oddly, the northbound lanes, going south, and I got almost I got right to the front of the building, and a policeman stopped me and said, "You can't go through. There's too many fire trucks and hoses, so park right here." And I parked in front of the Verizon building on Vesey and West, and I walked up to the front of the building, and shortly after that, the second plane came in and hit Tower 2.
So you were right down there when it
was, and sadly, we had 72 workers and another 7 people who were doing work for us there at 847, and so we lost 79 people. And we also had an event in our ballroom on 106, and we lost 161 guests. So it was quite tragic, and I fortunately was able to kind of move around unrestricted to the point where I really felt like I shouldn't be there any longer, and I was able to get in my car and drive home. And as I was going up the West Side Highway, Tower 2, the first tower to fall, fell. It was heartbreaking, obviously, and it affected so many people. But Tom, I want to tell you about the good things that come out of bad things.
Yeah.
And we were able to start a charity called Windows of Hope.
See, I was going to ask you about that with the family and everything. Yeah.
It was incredible. I mean, cathartic for all of us who survived to be able to help all of these families of people who we knew that passed. And it was an amazing. I mean, the whole world reacted, and we ended up raising very close to $30 million.
Wow.
That we were able to disperse to 110 families.
Wow.
There were 160 children in the fund.
Okay.
We categorized children as not born yet, because there are several women who were pregnant, to still in school. And we didn't care. You could be in grad school or law school.
Cool.
And we were able to disperse 20 million over 5 years or so. All they needed to do was come in and show us the need for rent or car payment or food or whatever, and we wrote the check. Michael Bloomberg underwrote the whole charity. He gave us office space. He paid the administrators.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Not one penny came out of the charity that didn't go to the families in need. And wisely, and there were some very, very smart people who were running the charity. David Emile, who was the owner of Windows on the World, and brilliant man, and Michael LaMonaco, the chef, Waldy Malouf, who was another chef in our company. I think they just did an amazing job. They took $10 million from the charity, and we put it in a low-risk fund earmarked for education for the kids. And all the kids had to do was, the parent could come in and say, I want to send them to nursery school. I want to send them to kindergarten. I want to send them to private school. It didn't matter what it was. Yeah. And we wrote the check. Yeah. So at 20 years now, the kids who weren't born are now 20. Yeah. So the kids are starting to wind down with the education. And the fund is now worth $22 million.
Wow.
So I know there's a lot of really good ideas out there of what to do with this money, and it's being discussed as we speak. But what a tremendous opportunity to help people who really needed help at that time.
What's the goal, to try to keep the use of those funds in with the people that were affected by the?
I'm sure there'll be a decision made that's going to be well thought out, because again, they're very, very, there's brilliant minds at work. Sure. But what something that I heard that I thought would be really amazing is, what if we could give the grandkids the same educational opportunity, right? Sure. So the kids got it. The kids are going to have kids, and they could have their education paid for in honor and in the memory of their grandparent that was killed at 9/11.
I was very fortunate. 9/11, just a couple weeks ago, I went down to a firehouse on 49th and 8th Avenue.
Yeah, I know exactly which one.
They had lost 13 members, I think it was. I think 2 or 3 since. Yep. And just like it's obviously a very sad day, right? The memory of it. But it was really interesting for them. They more took the attitude the family members did, that how brave those men and women were that went to the danger instead of leaving. They even talked about how, I've talked this before on other shows, how the shift that was just ending could have gone home, right? They said, no way, we're staying here. The new shift was there. They could have taken over, but they went as well. So it's, as much as it's sad and terrible memories, but it's I love the way the families and you are doing good things from that. So it's
God bless the first responders. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was very sad, because at the time, around the time I started thinking I should probably leave, there was no triage, and that's what they were expecting. All the hospitals and their emergency rooms were on full notice, and nobody was coming out. Yeah. And that was what was really sad.
I remember that too. I remember them talking about the hospital. We were ready. Nobody was coming in. Yeah,
nobody. So God bless the first responders.
Right. So we're talking about 9/11. This is Glenn Vogt here at Terrytown at the River Market Bar and Kitchen.
We emphasize bar.
Yes. Oh, you do.
We take our cocktails
big bar
very
too. Yes,
seriously.
it is a big bar there too.
You know what, Tom? This week, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
But this week was Westchester Magazine's wine and food celebration. Right? They do it every year. Last year they didn't do it because of COVID. But I'm only mentioning this because we're talking about the bar at River Market Bar and Kitchen. So first 2 bartender shake-off contests. The first two. So it was 5 bartenders. My famous mixologist, Emilio Ugarte, was one of them.
Mixologist, I like it.
Oh yeah, fancy.
Yeah.
And they had to create a cocktail.
Right.
And he won.
Oh.
The second year he was defending champion, and he won again.
Right.
So he's 2-time defending champion.
Right.
Last year there wasn't any because of COVID.
Right.
So on Wednesday of this week, they had the third bartender shake-off contest. Guess who won?
He won, did he?
He won again.
I'm gonna have to go after it with it because I make I'm all into healthy foods and everything. So it's probably like 2 Super Bowls ago. I bought myself a juicer, so I juiced up a whole bunch of vegetables and I poured some tequila in there. So I made a tequila salad. So I called it tequila salad. So
I love that.
Yeah, it's fun. We had a great time.
So he's big into juices.
Oh.
And one of the ingredients that he used for this year's cocktail, it was called the Guapo, meaning the handsome. And he has a dog, the cutest dog you've ever seen, named Guapo.
Oh.
So Emilio wore a Hawaiian shirt, and so did Guapo. Guapo had a little Hawaiian shirt on.
That's classic.
It was so cute. And we made an orange drink because right now, Feeding Westchester, which is a charity that I am so in love with, and the work they're doing. Do you know that 1 out of 5 people in Westchester County are what they call food insecure?
Is that right?
1 out of 5 in Westchester.
It's hard to believe it. Westchester's known as this very wealthy area, a lot of nice big homes and everything like that. But yeah.
So there's a sort of an event going on right now called Eating for Orange, and if you eat anything orange at a restaurant or drink anything orange, they donate. This organization donates $1 to Feeding Westchester. So I said, you know what? I'm going to donate $1 too if you get anything orange or drink anything orange. Right. So we created this orange cocktail with carrot juice.
Oh, nice!
Like fresh.
Nice.
We made it ourselves.
Nice.
And it's the most beautiful orange
I think
color.
I see a couple being served over there right
exactly.
now. There's an orange
That's
drink.
it.
Yeah,
yes.
There it is. Yes. Ooh, they're good.
Well, it's famous.
Oh, there you go. It's famous. I like it.
It was just, it just became cocktail of the year.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's fantastic. So here we're at the River Market Bar and Kitchen. Tonight we've got the Tappan Zee Bridge, better known as, unfortunately, the Mario Cuomo Bridge behind us. That's gonna be lit up purple tonight in honor of Alzheimer's. And there's a watch at the Hernan Landing here. This is Tarrytown. It's more Sleepy Hollow, but it's kind of the same thing right down by the water.
Sleepy Hollow, Tarrytown are literally like you wouldn't know when you cross the line.
So I think the watch is probably the watch is probably about 5 minutes from the restaurant here. Right. So you could go to the restaurant first, go to the watch. They'll be there for a while. They've got bands and everything going on right down by the water. Beautiful area here. Fantastic. Easy commute. You can jump on the train if you want to. I'm in Greenwich. It took me 20 minutes with traffic to get over here. So again, Glenn, thank you very much for having us here. Fantastic. So what is the specialty? What's your best meal here?
Well, I just want to go back one sentence or 2 sentences where you said the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yes.
And we try to, we're politically neutral here.
Yes.
Not really, but
we try to keep our opinions to ourselves. Is what we're trying to do. Yeah.
But I saw a map from the 1800s when we first got here. The Historical Society is up the street, and it's beautiful too. They had a map, and underneath where the bridge was, obviously wasn't there, but there was ferry landings, right? Tarrytown. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But that body of water is called the Tappan Sea, S-E-A.
Oh.
And the Z part came from the Dutch settlers who kind of took over the Hudson Valley.
You're a fountain of knowledge, aren't you?
Boy,
it's good.
So I just want you to know that it'll always be the Tappan Sea. It'll always be the Tappan Zee. You can call it whatever you want.
So just anybody that's not from the area, we've had 2 governors. Mario Cuomo was actually governor, 20, 30 years ago. Then his son was the governor, and he now just got departed for some nefarious reasons. I'm awful, but I can't help but call him Nipple Boy. I don't know what it is. He's got the things going on.
I don't even want to think about that.
I know. It's just in a restaurant, right? You're trying to eat. Oh, I know. It's funny. So that's why a lot of people around here are hesitant to call it the Mario Cuomo Bridge. I'm big on, I think there's so many other worthy people, military personnel, police officers, firefighters have lost their lives. We name things after the politicians, but that's my opinion. But,
well, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, totally.
So your question was, what do we do here? So being on the river, we're not on it, but we're very, very close to it. You can see the bridge and there's a little water view over there. I knew we were going to do farm to table and try to support as many local farmers as possible on the menu. I just felt like this setting was one I could stand on a soapbox and really talk about the Hudson Valley and the world-class products, food and beverage, that were being made here and produced and created, especially the ones that were being done without chemicals, without hormones and steroids and all those other things. Because I don't know about you, and I know you're a healthy guy. You look like you go out and play right now. But I want to know what I'm putting in my body.
Oh, me too.
Right?
Yeah, I've learned that more and more. Yeah.
More and more as we get older.
Yeah.
It becomes more and more important. And so I do a lot of work with a farm called Hemlock Hill. They're right up in Cortland Manor in Westchester, sort of the northernmost part of Westchester. And they raise their animals, not only humanely, but naturally, with no chemicals at all. And so they're all over the menu, and we buy all of our meats from them. We buy a ton of other things too, and really supporting that small farm. And I'll just give you a little background of what we're doing here is we tried to do, my designer friend and myself, was to introduce that idea to the interior design detail. We wanted to how do we represent local farm to table in the design itself. And so my friend Christian Arkela Lever, he's an amazing designer. He found a place that reclaims wood in the Hudson Valley, up a little bit above Poughkeepsie, in the middle of nowhere. And they go all over to reclaim it, but they do have quite a bit from the Hudson Valley. And we went there for the floor, which is 200-year-old maple. We fell in love with that. While we were there, we also fell in love with what is the ceiling now, which was the boards that formed the soil boxes on an abandoned mushroom farm in Columbia County, so right on the river as well. Amazing grain and texture. It's absolutely stunning. And then we also did the outside of the room with 150-year-old cedar barn siding from barn in Dutchess County. So all of the wood that you see in there, almost all the wood, is not only reclaimed and repurposed, but local as well.
And all the stonework and all that too. It's really nice. Yeah.
So this building that we're in was actually modeled after the Rockefeller Stone Barns, which is not too far from here.
So another company was here. They left, and you took it over and made it into a restaurant.
What happened was the landlord, the builder, he has 22 condos in this building. But the retail, they always knew there was going to be something here, but they weren't sure what. And someone told us about it, and we came, looked at it, and fell in love. And we've been here 8 years now already.
Is it 8 years you've been here? Wow. I remember when I first came over here, they had a Ranger event for season ticket holders, and I came in. And so obviously, I think as we said, Glenn is a huge Ranger fan as well. He had a big thrill. We actually almost a big thrill a few weeks ago where Henrik Lundqvist.
I missed him. I was late for lunch.
So just so you know, too, it's probably 10 minutes to the practice facility.
Yeah.
So a few of the Rangers were coming over here to have lunch.
You see a lot of them and the coaches. It's great because I am a longtime fan. But Little Windows on the World story. Gretzky decides to retire on a Friday.
That's right. Yes.
And he, the MSG starts scrambling, looking for a place that they can hold it.
I heard about this.
And we have our best banquet space available. It's like facing north. The whole city is just laid out in front of you. And on Sundays, his last game, everybody comes to Windows. They were playing the Penguins. I think they all came too. And a lot of speeches, a lot of tears, a lot of great memories, amazing stuff, a lot of cocktails. And it was emotional, I can tell you that. So everybody got a hat that said 99. And then on the back, it had the date that he retired.
Well, he's pretty classy. So I was very fortunate. I played with him in Los Angeles, and I was in the Asian business at that time. I represented Darren Langdon, who was on the Rangers, tough guy. And the team wasn't doing very well at the end of the year. And he came to me probably 2 weeks before Wayne made the announcement. He knew that Wayne was going to retire. So I went and bought about 4 tickets, nice seats and everything too, that I never would have been able to get my hands on after. And it was fantastic being there. And he was such a classy guy, Wayne was. And he was like that in LA as well, where he took such good care of everybody, just like you mentioned. They a different stick every shift, so he had sticks to give all of his teammates and everything. So he was great that way. So
I'll tell you that. So it gets better. He's everybody's talking to him and crowding around him, and a couple hours go by, and he goes to the buffet and he fixes himself a little plate. And he goes and sits down, and he's all by himself. So I went over to him and I said, "Mr. Gretzky, Glenn Vogt, I'm the general manager. I can't tell you what an honor it is to have you here on this day." I said, "I have a team of chefs in the kitchen who would love to do nothing more than cook you whatever you want.
That's cool.
You want steak, lobster, duck, everything. You tell me, and they'll do it. First of all, he looks up and he goes, "That's really nice, Glenn. It's really nice to meet you. I thank you. Really appreciate the offer, but I'm good. This is fine." And I had hats in my hand from my 2 kids,
Right.
and he goes, "Want me to sign those for you?"
Yeah.
Just like that. I'm like, really?
Oh, and he was always like that too. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
What a gentleman! I'm telling you,
tireless. Like he probably just want to sit down and pound a few cocktails or something, right? But
exactly.
He was thinking, yeah, that is good. That's who he is.
What a memory.
Yeah. So again, we were with Glenn Vogt, the owner and general manager of the River Market Bar and Kitchen. I've got that down now.
Tarrytown, New York.
Yeah, Tarrytown, New York, right next to Sleepy Hollow. We've got the Tappan Zee Bridge right behind us. That's going to be lit up purple tonight once it gets dark there. And there's a watch party at Sleepy Hollow, Hernan Landing. Right by the water. It'll be a fun night. You come in here for dinner, then go. It's like a short walk to Hernan Landing, or vice versa. You go to Hernan Landing first to come here for dinner. Again, thank you very much for having us here. So, did we get to what the best meal here is?
No, I don't think we did yet.
Do you have a favorite meal?
I love them all because basically the menu is mine.
It is, eh?
Yeah. We have tremendous. We've had a lot of people pass through the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right now, we have the best team we've ever had in the kitchen. They've all been here for a long time.
Right.
And I'll show them something that I want to do in my style.
Right.
And 100% of the time, after they're done fooling around with it, it comes back even better than I can imagine.
Nice.
So it's a lot about the team in the kitchen, really caring about the food that we're serving, making sure they're preparing it the right way so that it's the best example of whatever it is. I have so many favorites. It's like children, how do you pick your favorite child? How do you pick your favorite dish?
One surprised me. Best gifts, I guess. So we were talking. Your kids are what, 31 and 29. Mine are 31 and 28.
Yeah.
I saw. We were talking. There was a gentleman and his wife up there that had a little baby going, and I couldn't help but say to him, "Listen, it's going to go quick."
Exactly. Exactly. You turn around and they're 31, and they're taller than you, and they're looking at you like, "Look at me, Dad. I'm taller than you."
Yeah. Are your kids taller than you? You're a big man too. What are you, like 6'2" or something?
I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
My oldest, he's 6'5".
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. How tall is your wife?
She's not that tall. She's only like 5'7".
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Very cool. Favorite meal. So same thing with dessert then, right? You wouldn't have a favorite dessert or anything?
I'm a chocoholic.
Oh, you really?
Yeah. But I had to stop eating sweets, unfortunately, due to health reasons.
Right.
My doctor said, if you cut out eating sweets and things like that, you'll, your blood sugar will drop down to normal.
Yeah.
But if you go over, once you're diabetic, you're diabetic.
Right.
So
you can't change that and not be a diabetic any longer.
That's not what I heard. Yeah. That's what I heard. But you can change it before.
Right.
As your doctor sees your blood sugar creeping up, you can change your diet. But it's a lifestyle change.
Right.
And so I went to a dietitian, and she said, you put your vegetables over here in this quarter of the plate, and then you put your protein over here. And I was like, I'm in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
I first of all, I don't eat like that, and I don't eat until 11 o'clock at night. So I just decided I'm cutting out all sweets.
Yeah, good.
And I have a sweet tooth, and all carbs. So pasta, pizza, potatoes, rice, all that stuff. In 3 months, my blood sugar dropped right back to normal. It's kind of a funny story. My doctor's reading my numbers, and he's like, "Holy mac! I can't believe you did this. This is incredible." He goes, "Did you stop drinking too?" And I went, "No." He goes, "Talk about the best doctor is the doctor who tells you what you want to hear."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, well, if you cut out all that other stuff, you can drink what you want." I'm like, "You're the best doctor ever."
I know people do ask me because they know I've got all the healthy stuff going on. Like, do you drink? I say, absolutely, I drink. Yeah, that's no question. I'll be going home after the show and sitting on my back deck and have a cocktail.
Exactly.
Again, one more time, we're Glenn Vogt here from the River Market Bar and Kitchen in Tarrytown, New York, right by the train station. Easy to get to. Great location, great cocktails. Sitting out the back deck here is fantastic too.
This patio has been a lifesaver for us all through COVID. Yeah. We always appreciated it, and it's always been very busy. Right. But there was a time when nobody wanted to go inside.
So did you stay open the whole time?
We did. We did. We had to shut down for a couple of months with everybody else. We did takeout and delivery, which wasn't. It really wasn't great. But we did it anyway. We got the PPP loan, and we got to bring people back off of unemployment, and they didn't have much to do, unfortunately, but we got through that, and then the patio was a
Yeah,
godsend.
I remember I came in. I think this was the first place I went to after the pandemic. We sat out here at the patio. It was nice. Yeah.
We have so many people who came after COVID and said, our last meal was here, and now our first meal is here. And so, yeah, it's a special place.
All right, so I'm going to propose a thrill for your chefs. Okay, you ready for this?
Yes.
So on Sunday afternoon now, I do a cooking show on Facebook. So
Really?
I turned into a pretty good cook. So what happened was during the pandemic, the gyms had all closed everything. So I had my deck and I had my propane tanks for my barbecue. So I was just joking around, lifting my propane tanks and filming it and putting it online. So then I decided I would print out some pictures of former teammates. So I had Ron Greshner and Wilson, the soccer ball from the movie.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I put them on, and I had them, I have a balance board falling off and all. It's just being a total goof. But people were liking it, so I started adding more pictures, and I would put them on the wall of my deck and everything. And one day, I think it started because it started getting cold or rainy or whatever. So I took all the pictures, put them inside on my kitchen cabinets. So then I do a video of Trump's there with a mask on. There's a reason why everybody's there. So it's up to like 30 pictures now or something like that.
Hilarious.
So then I would cook a meal. I would get on and I would give the description of what the menu was, and I would cook it. And it got to the point now where I have to plate it perfectly. Like,
of course.
I have to get.
Oh wait, it gets worse.
Really?
Oh yeah, you're going to be like screaming at the sous chef.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you have a sous chef?
No. I didn't know what a sous chef was until a while ago. Do you scream at the chefs?
It does. I mean, there's so much pressure, and we do very big numbers.
Yeah.
So voices get raised, but you know what? Everybody knows it's just, let's get through this. After the shift is over, we all have a drink together, a couple of laughs, and tomorrow's another day.
Right. That's the same in the locker room. I tell stories all the time about some of the fights they had on the ice, like physical fights of guys who were good friends and everything. And I tell the stories, and people are like, "Well, they're not friends anymore." I said, "Yeah, they're closer than ever. They were battling. They were competitors." There's a Jet game. It was the last week, one of the Jets game. It was a Giants game. The player was yelling at. He thought they were yelling at. The quarterback. And they weren't yelling at the quarterback. He was yelling at everybody made a big deal about it, but the players don't look at it. I would say the same with you guys around the kitchen, right? It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Way when in the heat of the moment, sometimes voices get raised.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
It's gone immediately.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a couple of shifts available if you'd like to come in and spend a little time in there.
That's right.
Rattling some pans.
I'd love to do that. Get the video camera going and me cooking and everything like that.
Let's do it.
Oh, that'd be fun. That
would
classic.
be so much fun.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. Good. So again, one more time, guys, we were at the River Market Bar and Kitchen here in Terrytown, New York, right by the train station. If you want to commute that way, easy parking, lots of parking around, nice patio. It's right by the Tappan Zee Bridge behind us. And again, this is this fine woman here. This is Esther Mccarthy. Esther, come on around, get on.
Hi, Esther McCarthy.
Esther is with the Alzheimer's Association of Westchester County.
The purple shirt.
Yes.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
Pleasure.
Nice
Really nice to meet you.
So you were on camera.
The other way.
You're on camera, no, because the bridge is behind us.
Oh, so we're just all shadowed?
No, that's fine. It'll be good. It's really effective. See, Esther got here and started complaining right away.
Are you the producer or director?
I'm the director.
Of course you are.
She's the pain in the She's the one that has to push us all the ways. So I've got a team. Just so you guys know, too. I got to remember. So Team Grasshoppers. I'll post that again, and you can go to the link. You actually scan the QR code on the link and donate to Team Grasshoppers. You're more welcome to come to the March too on October 3rd. So
Thank you.
1 o'clock at Westchester Community College.
That's awesome.
Did you mention that you're the voice of God for that?
You know what? I forgot about that. So I'm going to make all the announcements. So she says to me, I'm voice of God. I go, what? I said, I've always thought I've been like that, but now it's official. I am really the voice of God.
Get the title.
Yeah.
That's the title.
Yeah.
To let everyone know what's going on.
Yeah. And it's Hernan Landing, correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Horan's Landing.
Horan's Landing. Okay.
I
I changed the name.
Horan.
I changed the name of his restaurant. I've changed the name of the landing.
I believe it's the accent.
It's the Canadian accent.
It's the Canadian
I've got an
accent.
excuse.
It was close.
I think it's
close.
Really
I think
close.
it's the brain damage from too many concussions or whatever. That is true. Most all us guys that are especially older now, when we make mistakes, we just say it's brain damage. You got a reason.
And you don't have to explain the thing.
No, yeah, exactly.
Everybody gets it.
Because you can't remember anyways. That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's funny.
So again, Glenn, thank you very much for having us. One more time, so everybody's aware of this. We're in Terrytown, New York, at Glenn Votes, a restaurant here at the River Market Bar and Kitchen. We just saw the lovely and talented Esther from Alzheimer's Association. She looks very nice. She's not a very nice person at all. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I volunteered.
I don't know. She seems pretty nice.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought it was too. After all these months.
So you're wearing your
Yes,
shirt?
I got my purple shirt
You
on.
got your purple shirt on.
Definitely. Yes, purple shirt. And everybody, discuss it because I usually wear a black T-shirt just like you. I usually have a black T-shirt all the time, so they'll see me in purple.
This is my uniform.
Yeah, mine too.
Black T-shirt,
mine too.
jeans.
Yeah.
Jordans.
Perfect. All right, but thank you very much. Great to have you. Great story here too. You know, we maybe we'll do another show, talk a little bit more about your journey from 9/11 to how you got to here. A long way. So,
if you want to read the most incredible, moving article, again, The Atlantic, Tim Alberta.
So how did they find that? I think I was looking for it there for a little bit. Is it just look up your name?
Yeah, you can just Google. I know a lot of people have found it by just Googling The Atlantic 9/11. It pops right up. Tim Alberta is my cousin who wrote the article, and I've been hearing from people all around the world, Tom. It's unbelievable the reach that this article has and how it touches.
Is it more a story about the journey from 9/11 to here now, or?
Yes, it's more a story of human. I don't know what is it called, the human experience, and it's my experience, but the way Tim writes it is unbelievable. Yeah.
Does he write for them all the time?
He does. He for 12 years he was chief political writer for Politico, and he got so disenchanted with politics and politicians. I think as soon as they heard that he was available, The Atlantic grabbed him up, and he's a staff writer there now. Yeah, and it's a great magazine.
Very good. And again, just Esther, because she's staring at me here. No, she's not. I'm kidding you. She's not. So again, the walk is October 3rd at 1:00 at Westchester Community College. It got changed a couple of times because of COVID. It was going to be at Pacer, wherever it was.
It was at Pacer for WCC now.
So again, 1:00 on October 3rd. Is October 3rd or Sunday?
Sunday.
You know how nice that's football Sunday, and I'm sacrificing.
You know how many people told me this?
Because I am the voice of God.
You are. I mean, if it was any less than that, maybe watch some football. But
I guess
the voice of God. You got to be there.
I'm gonna make sure that Title 6. All right, bud. Thank
Tom,
you for having us. That's fantastic.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.